fight for their liberation. And those Africans have to be organized to fight for their liberation.
Peace, family. Welcome back to Sincere Love the God cast with your hosts, Sincereluvdagod and Nice T-Girl. And today we're breaking down two major stories. Maryland lawmakers are moving to override Wes Moore's reparations veto. But why does the bill skip over slavery and only mention Reconstruction? And Trump's DOJ is cutting police oversight, proving once again that police reform was never real. No punishment, no accountability, and white supremacists running the show from top to bottom. As we head to a quick commercial break, y'all know what to do: like, share, subscribe, and if you rockin' with the content, drop something in that super chat. We'll be right back. Yo family, real quick, I'm proud to announce the soft launch of Sincereluvdagod's new book, From the Womb to Illmatic, a hip-hop inspired blueprint for unlocking your child's inner genius. This ain't your average parenting book. This is for the culture, inspired by Illmatic, built around his own son Seven's early development, and packed with real tools to help parents turn everyday moments into genius-level learning. If you've ever wanted to give your child a head start without losing your roots, this book is for you. Available now on Amazon. Order now and leave a 5-star review. You already know, we raising brilliance around here.
It's the Ticket Plug. We've been running an online ticket business for over a decade, and now we've created an easy way for you to do the same thing through our private ticket resale community. Joining our community will give you a way to flip your bread and generate profit income consistently. We provide you with all the tools, training, and resources needed to start your life-changing online ticket business. Zero experience needed. To join our ticket resale community, go to thetickettrap.com. Again, go to thetickettrap.com. That's thetickettrap.com.
And those Africans have to be organized to fight for their liberation.
GW Apparel, a clothing that speaks. Something for the kings, something for the queens. Visit uptsites.com and use promo code SLDG22 and receive 11% off your order. Peace. The Master's Table by DJ RP Beats and Sincere Love the God, now playing on the internet's #1 destination for true hip-hop. Introducing truthhiphop.com, a meticulously curated platform designed for connoisseurs seeking a superior quality of hip-hop. Immerse yourself in an unparalleled experience of 100% bar-heavy, authentically crafted, real hip-hop. Discover the essence of the genre, reminiscent of its golden era, now playing exclusively at truthhiphop.com.
Yeah, like that. Let's see what's in the God's mind. Listen.
In the person of Sincere Love the God.
That mean they arms too short like Tall Anthony Shaw. Peace, family, peace. Welcome to another episode of Sincere Love the Godcast. I am the God, Sincere Love. Back in the house once again with my lovely co-host, Nice T-Girl. What's going on, everybody?
What's good? I've been missing in action, ain't I?
Right. Out here turning up.
I've been turning up with the 30-year-olds. My daughter turned 30 on May 18th, so I turned up with her for a couple of days. And yeah, I'm back, though. I'm back on granny mode.
Back like I never left. Granny mode.
Well, not a grandmother because I don't have grandkids yet, but yeah.
Not yet.
No.
Not yet. That must be.
Oh no. Maybe I should rephrase that, huh? I need to rephrase that because we are not trying to do that right now.
Yeah, I thought you had a little announcement to make or something.
Oh no. Oh God, no. I bet not. Neither one of them.
Man, but we here, family. We here. Y'all know what to do as y'all coming up in here, man. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Share this out on your social media platforms and let everybody know that we are live right now with another episode of Sincere Love the Godcast. And this week we are talking about symbolic wins and systemic setbacks. So we got Maryland's reparations fight going on over there, and the DOJ's cop cover up, where they trying to high sign about pulling back these police reforms or whatever the case may be. So those are the two main stories that we're going to be getting into on today's episode of Sincere Love the Godcast. But yeah, y'all coming up in here, man. Like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Shout out to the Facebook tribe tuning in. Shout out to the YouTube tribe tuning in. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you can be reminded whenever we go live with new episodes of Sincere Love the Godcast. And did y'all notice at the top of the show, did y'all notice the new advertisement for my new book?
Right.
Did y'all notice the new advertisement for the new book that is available now on Amazon? We're doing a soft launch, you know what I'm saying, for y'all that tune in, that rock with us heavy, you know what I'm saying? Y'all getting the first look, the first opportunity to go ahead and cop the book. From the Womb to Illmatic, a hip-hop inspired blueprint for unlocking your child's inner genius. So for those of y'all that have been rocking with me for a long time, y'all familiar with my son Seven. Y'all know we did the children's book, or where the main character was based on him. And you know, he pop up from time to time on the broadcast here, and you know, he's on my social media. He has his own Instagram profile and all of that. If y'all not following him, make sure y'all follow at 7 the Super Hey Roo on Instagram and on Facebook at 7 the Super Hey Roo. But if y'all, like I said, if y'all been tapped in me for a while, y'all know that my son was real early advanced learner. You know what I'm saying? He was reading by the time he was like 2 years old. He was reading like full sentences and all of that, doing basic math equations and all of that at a very early age, and just learning a lot of things at a real rapid pace. And so at that time, he's almost 10 years old now. He's 9. He'll be 10 at the end of the summer. But at the time, you know, during those stages, you know, we would always get questions about, damn, what y'all doing? How he get like that? Like, you know, your son is a genius. We would hear this all the time. And my thing was, you know, I see the abilities that he had in all of the kids that I come across. You know what I'm saying? Like the kids that are coming into the world now they just ready. They different. You know what I'm saying? And so to me, you know, although that's my son, and of course he's special to me, you know what I'm saying? I didn't see anything that couldn't be done with most of the other children that I was coming across. And so, you know, what I did was I just gathered all of the strategies that we used in our home with him, and all of the things that I implemented with him very early on. And I put all that information together, got it organized, and put it into a book. And so I created like a blueprint, a manual for other parents to be able to follow and be able to do the same thing that we did. So the book is called From the Womb to Illmatic, a hip-hop inspired blueprint for unlocking your child's inner genius. And it's available on Amazon right now. The link is inside the chat if you're watching us live, and the link is inside the description if you're watching this on the replay, or you could just go to Amazon, type in From the Womb to Illmatic, and you'll see that joint pop right up. You can go ahead and place your order. Like I said, this is a soft launch. So this is for all of the day ones and the insiders to be able to go ahead and grab that. I want y'all to leave us, you know, some stars and some reviews and stuff like that on the Amazon page, you know what I'm saying? So that, you know, we can get up in the
Algorithm.
and all of that, you know what I mean? When people are searching for books in our category, you know what I'm saying? Our book will pop up closer to the top when you guys leave reviews and give us good stars. And they got stars on Amazon. What do they got on Amazon?
I don't know. I thought it was stars, right? For books.
I think you could leave stars.
Yeah, something like that.
System that out there,
I
but
see what you did with that title, though. I see what you did with that. You know, you had to incorporate your favorite hip hop artists. You know, I see what
yes,
you did with
indeed.
that. I see what you
Yes,
did with that.
indeed.
That's dope.
And so y'all know, rocking my Illmatic shirt right now. Like I
You
said,
know?
my favorite artist, my favorite MC, Nasir Jones. And so not only the title, but the concept of the book. You know what I'm saying? When you guys get the book, you'll see each chapter. And actually, they're not called chapters, they're called tracks. So you got track 1, track 2, track 3, and every chapter or track is named after a song on Illmatic. You know what I'm saying? And so we use the titles and the concepts of the songs on Illmatic to break down each chapter, each category, each area of focus in the book. You know what I'm saying? So we got New York State of Mind, The World Is Yours, Life's a Bitch. Although
Oh, wow.
we changed it from Life's a Bitch to Life's a Trip. We wanted to keep it clean. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? This is kind of child oriented. I want people to be able to. Now it's for the parents, but I want the parents to be able to share it with the kids too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so also we included in the book a lot of the tools and resources that we used. So at the end of each chapter, we tell y'all specific YouTube channels, apps from the App Store that you could download, and websites that you could go to get free material, free resources to reinforce some of the learning activities and all of that. And not only did we list those at the end of each chapter, but in the back of the book, there are QR codes. So you could just scan the QR codes and it'll take you right to the YouTube channel, it'll take you right to the App Store to download the app or whatever, take you right to the website. And if you get the Kindle version, which it's not available yet, the Kindle version will be available soon. But if you get the Kindle version, instead of QR codes, they'll just be clickable links. So you'll be able to just click on the link and it'll take you to the website. You know what I'm saying? So we made it easy for y'all to go ahead and get those resources. But yeah, you know what I mean? It's designed for parents, grandparents, early childhood educators, homeschoolers.
Yeah.
People are trying to break away from the curriculum and the traditional schooling system. And just understanding that your child is already a genius. And our job as parents and educators, our job is to just unlock it. You know what I'm saying? And so, the book, I'm very proud of the book. You know what I'm saying? I started it 5 years ago.
Years ago. I was gonna say, can you tell that part?
if y'all remember. Actually, I should have pulled up that video. Do I got that video on here? What I do with that video?
This has been 5 years in the making. It's been cooking for 5 years.
Right. I started this in 2020 during the pandemic. I started working on the book back then. I think I wrote like 4 or 5 chapters and I got stuck. You know what I'm saying? And it was just overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think it was writer block. What I did was I wanted to include so much information in the book. I had all of these grandiose ideas. And, I put together a table of contents with like 30, 40 chapters in it. You know what I'm saying? Wow. And so it was just overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? And so I kind of got intimidated by my own project and I just stayed away from it for a long time. But a couple of months ago when we interviewed Chase, shout out to Chase McGee from Voice of the Ancestors, he kind of inspired me to get back working on the book. You know what I'm saying? He challenged me really. He was like, nah, you got to get that book done. You got to get that book out. You know what I'm saying? And so ever since then, I got back to work on it and I kind of scaled back the concept and the idea and I was able to get it done. And it's available now, man. It's available now. Y'all go on Amazon and order that thing and leave some reviews.
Leave some reviews. And we should have you guys, or you guys should come up with like a hashtag or something like that for the book. Hashtag
that'd be dope.
7Illmatic. Hashtag, I don't know what we doing here. So when you do cop the book, you can obviously, post it, hashtag, whatever hashtag we come up with, so Sincere can see, his loyals out here supporting, the project.
For sure. So y'all could, take pictures with the book or videos, reading the book and stuff like that. And it could be all under the same hashtag. So I can repost y'all stuff and all of that. That'd be dope. So yeah, y'all think of some hashtags, put it in the chat. If you want to hop on towards the end of the broadcast today, you guys can hop on and share some of your ideas with me for the hashtags around the new book. And so I'll play the ad again, sometime during the broadcast. I know some people, wasn't tuning in right away. We played it right at the top of the episode. So I'll play it again at some point. But I want to find that there's a video that I made when I first was creating the book. I want to show y'all so y'all can see the difference. No, this ain't the damn. Hold on a second, y'all. I'll find it.
Turn my camera light up. There we go.
Let me see. Is this it? Yeah, it should be in my recent history. Damn, why does it keep bringing me here? Okay, hold on. Sorry.
You know when you want
Sorry, y'all.
something,
Bear with me for a second.
they switch up.
Yeah, y'all bear with me for a second. I found it the other day and I recently watched it, so it should be in my my recent history. Home. Go here. Where does it show you your history at over here now? This looks different.
Oh, Instagram. I mean, not on Instagram, but on
On, on
YouTube.
YouTube, yeah. It usually right on the side where you could just go to your history, but I don't even see that now.
You go.
Okay, history. Here we go. Got it. All right, so it should be recent. Hold on a second, y'all. Man, I'll be watching mad shit on here. Hold on a second, y'all. Man, it's not coming up. I'm gonna find it. I don't want to keep y'all waiting too damn long. Oh, here it goes. All right, let me share this with y'all. This is where I was going with it at first. And I didn't change it up too much. It's still, the same basic concept, but I had to scale it back a little bit. All right, let me share this with y'all. There we go. Peace, guys. What's going on? Oops, my bad.
I've been through mad different phases.
That damn music.
Peace, guys. What's going on? So I'm here working on my book, which is a step-by-step guide to teaching your baby how to read, do math, geography, music notes, earth facts, space facts, the periodic table, and so much more. So I'm just working on the layout here, and I need you guys' help. So far, I have 21 different areas that I want to cover, starting with baby sensory, colors and shapes, ABCs, counting numbers, phonics, letter sounds, sight words, adding, the 5 senses, 4 seasons / weather, days of the week / calendar, telling time, insects, animals, vehicles, feelings / emotions, boosting confidence, teaching respect, the importance of telling the truth, understanding responsibility, and teaching patience, which is for children as well as parents. What else should I include that you guys would want to learn how to teach your babies and your toddlers at a very early age?
Potty training. I'm just kidding.
So shit. Yeah, so everything that he was learning at that time, I was just trying to put it in the book, you know what I'm saying, as like its own chapter, you know what I'm saying? So I just had to kind of consolidate everything, and the concept of the Illmatic album, it helped me, as a guide, so I could just say, okay, this song is going to be this chapter, and we can cover these things in this chapter here. Oh, you know what I'm saying? So
I didn't realize how much Seven looked like you until you posted the picture of you when you were little on Mother's Day. It's a picture of you. Like, yeah, I was like, wow. At first, I was like, he did on his mom. Like, I see features of you, but I was like, he looks more like his mom to me.
Yeah.
But when I saw that, I was like, oh, hell no. You just eliminated her. But when you was little, like, y'all have the exact same face, literally.
Yeah, Seven looked like a little bit of everybody in the family, for real.
You think
like
so?
Like when he was first born, he looked exactly like Zaire. Like when he came out, I was like, damn, that's Zaire right there. Like, everybody was like, that's Zaire. But yeah, he looked like his mama. He looked like Ja. He looked like Rhea. He looked like my mama. He looked like everybody.
Right. Well, on that picture, it was like, I couldn't tell. There's pictures of me when I was little that Ty be like, look at Jasmine. And I'm like, no, that's actually your mom. That's not Jasmine. That's me. So he'll, get us mixed up, but only on my little kid pictures.
Well, y'all look alike now. Y'all still look alike. Yeah.
Yeah. Her dad was like, we were sending him pictures from dinner and stuff because he had to work. He was like, he just kept responding twins. I'm like, twins. I'm like, yeah.
Right. Facts. And yo, by the way, we live right now on Twitch. we streaming on Twitch.
Oh, are
So
we?
yeah, can somebody look on Twitch and let us know if we live over there, if
Yeah,
it's
I started. I
working,
don't
if
have a
they can see
Twitch.
us.
Yeah, I started. Look.
I don't even think I got the app on my phone. Shit, where's Twitch? Hold on. Hold on. Let me see if I can see it. People have been telling me to get on Twitch for the longest. And they just added the destination to StreamYard, or I just realized that it was added as a destination to StreamYard. So I said, let me just try it.
This Twitch is hella popular, with the streaming community.
Oh yeah, we live on Twitch. We are live on Twitch right now, y'all.
Wow. On Twitch. What's up, Twitch?
We are live on Twitch right now. Shout out to the Twitch. Shout out to the Twitch family.
Shout out to the Twitch family. You see that thing Kai Sanat has going on with the Streamers University or something like that?
Yeah, that's dope.
Ty said he sees us on there. We're on there.
All right, that's what's up. So subscribe, or what is it called over there? Subscribe or what?
Right.
Follow, subscribe, whatever it is. We on Twitch now, y'all. Wait, it says Sincere Love to God. I thought it was supposed to be Sincere Love to God Cast. Well, it's just Sincere Love to God. I thought it was Sincere Love to God Cast. All right, just type in Sincere Love to God on Twitch and give us a follow, a like, a subscribe, all of that, whatever stuff they got over there on Twitch. I ain't used to Twitch yet, but we're gonna get used to Twitch. We're gonna start rocking with Twitch now. So y'all go over there, leave us some comments, give us a follow, all of that good stuff. All right. So, all right, what we getting into first today? We're gonna follow up on what I covered last week. Nicely wasn't with me, but last week I had talked about the reparations pump fakes that the Democrats is doing, the bill that Rep. Summers Lee put out there, and also the bill that got vetoed by the governor in Maryland, Governor Wes Moore down there in Maryland.
Who's a Jamaican.
Right.
Throw that out there.
And so we got some follow-up information about that. So we'll get into that first.
All right. Let me scroll on up to that situation. Here we go. So Maryland legislators say they will override governor's veto, reinstate reparations commission bill.
So
go
ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to read the top of it. It says South Carolina Rep. John King says state Democratic Party should rescind the invitation to speak at annual fundraiser.
Right. Yeah, and so they talk about that a little bit further down in the article. So there's a lot of stuff in that article that we could actually unpack, to be honest.
Okay, let's do that.
So basically, we'll start right there with what you just read. The like I said last week, we announced that he vetoed the bill.
Right.
So they put together this bill, which is a study down there in Maryland, and he vetoed it, and he was kind of saying, we should be past studying, and it's time for action, right? Which sounded good on the surface, but really what he was trying to say is, we don't really need reparations because we're already doing things and we're already making progress, and I'm in office, and we got a black Secretary of State, and we got a black I think DEA or whatever. They got all these black people in office down there in Maryland. So they're saying we're already doing things, so we just need to continue the action that we're doing, and that's good enough. That's basically what he was trying to say with all of that. And so the thing about it is, the reparations bill already had enough votes to overrule his veto.
Right.
And so I'll give the legislation a little bit of credit for going ahead, or they're saying they haven't officially done it yet, but they're saying they're going to go ahead and override the veto.
Right. And I think do you think that they're learning from what happened here in California with the
Absolutely.
California, Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. It's the pressure from the grassroots. They're trying to find ways to navigate around, having to deal with us. So they can't
Mhm.
run the same plays the same exact way. They can't fumble the ball the same way that they seen the ball get fumbled in California and all of that. They like, that wasn't a good look. We got to do something different.
Right.
And so they had enough votes to override the veto. And so hopefully they are going to go ahead and override the veto. But the problem is they still got to get that language right.
1000%. And you having a black job ain't got nothing to do with the collective. That's
Right.
not putting any food on the table of other black people. That's not closing the wealth gap. That's doing nothing for us because you got a job.
Right. Right. And so a lot of these studies, what they doing is they just, funneling money to each other. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? To stall. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But this one, I will say, because a lot of the other task force that they put together, it was like $1 million, couple $1 million.
Mhm.
This one, is only like 50 something $1,000. You know what I'm saying? And so really the only problem that I'm having with it right now is, first of all, the language. There's no specificity in there. They're very broad and very Pan-African, you know what I'm
Right.
saying, with what they're
All lives
talking
matter
about,
still.
and race-based. Not really all lives matter, but race-based, which again they know is unconstitutional, and they know
Mhm.
it's not going to pass the mustard. They know that's going to end up getting shut down. So, you know, like I said, I give them a little bit of credit for going ahead and moving past that veto, but y'all going to have to get that language right off top. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to be very specific about what group is being targeted. And then the other problem that we having is, when you look at the bill, they're talking about from 1867 to 1965. So the Reconstruction era.
Right.
They don't even mention slavery.
And that's on purpose.
So it's not reparations if you're not mentioning slavery. You know what I'm saying? You're not talking about reparations. You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about? You're talking about some other type of programs to correct some other wrongs that have been done, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? But that's not reparations. That's something else. If you want to deal with, redlining and, some of the other harms that were done under the Jim Crow segregation and all of that stuff. Um, the housing with the, what do you call that? The covenants and all of that stuff that they was doing to keep people out of certain housing and all of that. If you
Redlining.
want to get it, yeah, the redlining and the covenants. I forgot what that shit is called.
I try to fix
Um,
something because I need to fix
but yeah,
it.
like I said, I respect, the lawmakers pushing back, but we got to stay focused. We got to stay focused, and we got to make sure that everything is right and exact. You know what I mean? Um, so like I said, the override definitely shows that there's some pressure being put on by the grassroots, and so we doing the right thing on our end. We just got to keep going with that. Um, but we can't go for the symbolic action without precise language, because that's still a setup at the end of the day.
A setup for failure and a setup to do nothing. As a matter of fact, here in California, we also have still, these reparations bills. We have two, Senate Bill 518 and Senate Bill 437. And basically, these Senate bills are bills that give state funds to nonprofits, right? It gives state funds to nonprofits in the name of reparations while providing no guarantees or direct benefits to the descendants of slavery. So we are asking that everyone calls Senator Welber's office. We're asking that you also call and ask the chair, Anna Caballero, that last name, Caballero, 916-651-4014. That's area code 916-651-4014. And we're asking them to oppose Senate Bill 518 and Senate Bill 437, because again, this is giving millions of dollars to nonprofits under the guise of reparations while doing nothing for reparations, or for slave reparations. So get involved,
Facts.
everybody.
Facts. So yeah, man. That's what that is. And so, like I said about this thing that's going on down there in Maryland, why are they trying to limit the scope to Reconstruction? You know, focusing only on Reconstruction, it lets the state off the hook for its role in slavery.
That's the part. That's the point.
Maryland
That's
was
the
a
point.
slave state.
Right.
You know, this creates an artificial starting point that erases the most brutal and foundational period of oppression that we suffered as a people.
And that's what
So
that
that's not
cousin wants to
reparations.
do. Miss you too, Nathaniel.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we got to acknowledge every phase, man. The harm started before
Reconstruction.
1865, you
Right.
know?
But and wouldn't that also maybe include some of these non-foundationals? Maybe,
Exactly. And that's
like
this is what I'm saying. That's the purpose of them narrowing the scope, because then they could say, well, people, everybody was discriminated against, if you was black, you couldn't buy a house in this neighborhood, you couldn't get a loan from this bank. That happened to everybody who was non-white. You know what I'm saying? So that's exactly what that's about. And that makes it more comfortable for white liberals to get on board.
so. I
If
have
it's
someone on Twitter or X. He's saying vetoing the bill for another reparations study is a good thing if they can get the money that was about to be used to form the commission and divvy that money out to the people who are owed reparations. It's not enough
okay,
because here in California it's only 6 million that they're trying to divvy out.
and like I said, the one in Maryland is only 50 something thousand.
Yeah,
It's only 50 something thousand. So divvy up what? You know what I'm
right.
saying? And I understand, maybe they didn't look deep into it, because on the surface that does make sense what he's saying. When I
Mhm.
first saw the story, I'm like, oh, because he was saying, we don't need another study. It's time to get to business. So if you just see that in the headlines,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? It sounds like Wes Moore is on code. But now when you get into the details of everything, it's like, nah, these are some scams they trying to run.
Right. More
This is game.
scams.
This is game that they trying to run.
And they only want to run them on us.
Right.
Like there's always this issue with giving black people, specifically foundational black Americans, money.
Right. Exactly.
They need to keep us broke. They need to keep us begging. They need to keep us, crying about being oppressed
Depending on them.
and
Dependent
depending on
on
them.
them.
This keeps Westmoreland a job,
Right.
because they do everything under the guise of helping black people, all while doing it for everybody else but black people. And then
Right.
vetoing bills that black people need, such as reparations. Why would you do that of all things?
Right. And the thing, I understand people saying, yeah, we don't need to study, we don't need to study. And I
We
agree
don't.
with y'all. I agree with y'all. But we do need these commissions in order for the infrastructure to be put in place for reparations to be done.
Right.
You know what
For
I'm
the right
saying?
people. For the right
Right.
people.
We got to have these commissions assembled to be able to create the institutions like the Freedmen's Bureau and things of that nature, and also to get an account. You know what I'm saying? They can start looking at specific numbers about what is owed and who specifically is owed. So we do need these commissions to be legitimized. We it ain't gotta be, they don't gotta be getting millions of dollars and taking years and years to do all of these studies, but they do need to assemble these commissions to start getting some action. You know what I mean?
And also, you got to be careful with the commissions because just because it says there's a commission, again, rolling it back here in California, they're trying to establish these commissions for genealogy. And they're talking about allocating $6 million to the Cal State universities here for genealogy. But there's no course at any of the Cal State universities for genealogy. There's no study program at all there. Yet, you guys are talking about giving $6 million to these institutions that don't even have a genealogy curriculum or anything. There's black people, Dr. Randy Short, You know what I'm saying? We got my cousin, some chick named Shaw. We know people right now in real times that's of our lineage that know how to do genealogy. I would rather they do it. I don't want it to go to an institution that doesn't have a history, a record, a curriculum, or anything to do genealogy. You're just giving money again under the guise of reparations, genealogy, or anything, and then nothing is produced.
And I know that the I forgot exactly what it's called, but there's a Black American museum in Charleston that has a division, specifically for genealogy and finding people's roots and all of that. And so, yeah, institutions like that. You know what I mean?
Listen, our sister Friday Jones, she's heavy out here in California on the reparations task force with CJEC and everything. Literally just a Google search. Cal State LA doesn't offer a specific degree in genealogy according to the university's website. However, the university does offer several undergraduate programs that could be relevant to someone interested in genealogy, such as history and related fields. But y'all want to give them $6 million.
Right. Like I said, they're funneling money
They're
to each other.
funneling money.
Installing.
That's it.
Installing.
And that's why, him vetoing it, is a bad thing. And I think the people in his camp or surrounding him was like, hold on, wait a minute, because these grassroots people, one, they're not dumb. Two, they're going to investigate and research every damn thing that we say. So let's hold off on this whole veto thing before we get them on our backs, because they're going to expose us, and a lot of us is going to be out of jobs because now people want to see them out. People want to see them out of office. Isaac Bryan was actually, one of his homeboys was on Dominic DePrima's radio show Friday, if I'm not mistaken, or Saturday, something like that. Still talking this bull crap, still doing nothing specifically for Black people, but always talking black. You know what I'm saying? But then when we get behind them with Isaac Bryan, he's one of the people
the guy
from the
from
California,
the bald head,
yeah. And they were on the radio. Of course, shout out to my brother Billions Godson. He sends me everything when they're going live. If I miss something, he don't let me miss anything, so I can stay tapped in, so that we can go run up on them and tell the truth. Whether that's calling into the radio station, in the chats of those radio stations, or showing up wherever these do nothing Negroes are at. You know what I'm saying? Using Black for everything, but also fighting heavy in the paint for some goddamn illegal aliens.
Man, yeah, especially over there in New Jersey. Y'all crashing out, getting arrested, and all type of shit behind these illegals. And then you seen that chick on TV singing
what was
goddamn
that?
Negro spirituals.
What was that?
And I think she did that before. I think she did that before some years ago. She got on TV with that bullshit.
What is that? Like, it's embarrassing.
Man.
Oh, I was like, Mammy. I was so upset. Like, we are so beyond singing Negro spirituals. We broke out here.
You facing federal goddamn charges. They're asking you about the federal charges that you facing, and your response is to bust out and sing a Negro spiritual.
And my thing is, if they can prove all the stuff that she did, which it seems like
she's on video,
right? I'm like,
you on video, man. Yeah, you try to make it seem like it's for a just cause or whatever the case may be, but hey, you did what you did.
You did what you did, and then you got the pettiest regime, you know what I'm saying, in the highest office, you know what I'm saying, that you attacked and came after, and think he wasn't gonna seek revenge.
That was your point. You wanted to go out there and crash out and get arrested, so you got what you asked for.
You got what you want, and I'm falling all the way back.
You got what you asked for. Get your ass out of here with that mammy shit.
That was so cringe.
And so, yeah, man, as far as what's going on in Maryland and everywhere else around the country where they got putting these task force together and all of that, we're not going to allow y'all to dust off HR 40 and try to remix it and try to control the terms around reparations, if the language isn't tight and the commissions just become a tool for universalism, Pan-Africanism, and performative justice, we're not doing none of that.
We're not doing any of that. And to bring it back here in LA, they renamed Crenshaw, a stretch of Crenshaw, Malcolm X.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's
I
like,
didn't look into it, but I saw that. What you think
but
about
again,
that?
these are the things that they want to give us, you know what I'm saying, outside of what we're asking for, which is cash reparations.
Right.
Period. Cash reparations. Shout out to Malcolm X. We love him. You know what I'm saying? Um, he deserves all that. We still, and he wanted reparations for us too. Let's
Right.
be very, very clear too. You know,
Right.
so these little things right here, that's not working anymore.
Right. And like Malcolm said, man, you know, if United States, if America's not ready to get her house in order, then maybe she shouldn't have a house.
Right.
You know, maybe it should burn down.
Maybe. And it seems like the Democratic Party's house is slowly but surely burning down, and all these plantations around the world seem to just mysteriously be burning down.
I was just about to say, did you see that?
Another
Another
one.
plantation down there in DC
Yeah. Hmm.
caught on fire twice.
I'm just saying the ancestors is at work.
You know?
The ancestors said, stop playing with me. Stop playing with my children. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will burn this bitch down. Stop playing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. So yeah, the goal is not just to get a bill passed. The goal is to get the right bill passed. And
For
so,
the right people.
you know, we're gonna keep applying that pressure, and that's what it is.
Yeah. And we ain't gonna change. It ain't changing.
That's what it is. And so well, we could, you want to move right on to the next story, or you want to talk about some other stuff that's going on out here?
We can go to the next story.
Yeah, so the other thing that we covering today, the DOJ, speaking of overrides,
Mm-hmm.
the DOJ is rescinding their investigations on some of these local police departments and overriding some of the police reform measures that were put in place under Biden.
Right.
And so you got that article pulled up?
Only one I have that I see in here is going to be the one from the Shade. No, I found it. Yep, I do. NBC News. I think I found it. It
Yeah.
says some fear excessive use of force will rise as the Department of Justice drops oversight of police departments. Two Minneapolis police officers on May 27, 2020, during the protests after the death of George Floyd, the Justice Department announced Wednesday that it will drop proposed content decrees with Minneapolis and Louisville, Kentucky.
Consent decrees.
Consent decree, sorry. The killing of George Floyd 5 years ago by a Minneapolis police officer ignited what many reform advocates hoped would be a national effort to end, at least curb, excessive use of force. But the Trump administration's decision this week to dismiss lawsuits and drop accountability agreements with several police departments could undo some of that momentum, proponents of federal oversight say. Having a blueprint for reform is one thing, but ensuring objective oversight, is a whole other thing, said Michael Giannacco, a former federal prosecutor who has overseen use of force cases. You want me to keep
Mm-hmm.
going?
Yeah, you can keep going.
The Justice Department announced Wednesday that it would drop proposed consent decrees with Minneapolis and Louisville, Kentucky, and end investigations into police departments in Phoenix, Trenton, New Jersey, Memphis, Tennessee, Mount Vernon, New York, and Oklahoma City, as well as into Louisiana state prisons.
Mm-hmm.
Louisiana State Police. The Minneapolis consent decree, a court enforced improvement plan that follows a civil rights abuse investigation, was reached after the 2020 death of George Floyd. Floyd was an unarmed was unarmed when police officer Derek Chauvin knelt on his neck for more than 9 minutes while he was handcuffed on the ground. The Louisville agreement was reached after the 2020 death of Breonna Taylor, who was shot by police officers while sitting unarmed in her Kentucky home. Both killings sparked coast-to-coast protests that consumed the final months of Trump's first administration and ushered in a wave of investigations under the U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland and Biden administration, which came up with nothing. Assistant Attorney General Hermet DeHaalen said in a statement Wednesday that the consent decree were overbroad, factual, unjustified, and based on an anti-police agenda.
Mm. Yeah, so couple of things there. First of all, as far as Trump and his DOJ is concerned, their anti-blackness is on full display. You know what I'm saying? And this is them really just kind of high signing to their base, that anti-blackness is still the order of the day. And you know what I'm saying? All of this woke shit and Black Lives Matter, they use that to talk about all of us.
Black people.
Black Lives Matter and all of that. They're not standing for none of that. And all of the woke stuff that Biden was doing and all of that. We're not going to stand for that. And we undoing all of that stuff. This is to satisfy their base. You know what I'm saying? Because really, on the other end of it, that's the bullshit with Trump and the DOJ and the Republicans and all of that. We already know what it is with that. But really, on the flip side of it, the so-called measures that Biden put in place didn't really do anything anyway. Nobody was punished for killing Breonna Taylor.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? Derek Chauvin got punished, but that wasn't due to none of these measures that was put in place. That was due to pressure from the grassroots.
Right.
He was already charged.
$1 billion bill.
Right. He was already charged and convicted and all that before Biden put any of these bills in place. You know what I'm saying? That was happening on the tail end of Trump's first administration. You know what I'm saying? When that whole George Floyd thing popped off. And the thing about the George Floyd thing that people need to get right, because I'm hearing especially a lot of conservatives and Black conservatives, like the Candace Owen types and all of that. They got this thing about George Floyd's character and he shouldn't be held as any type of hero and this, that, and the third and all of that. What people need to understand is when those riots broke out, it wasn't about George Floyd. The media made it about George Floyd. The Democrats and the liberals used George Floyd's name to, co-opt the energy. You know what I'm saying? And to control the opposition and all of that. But really, the George Floyd incident was just the straw that broke the camel's back. It wasn't about George Floyd. It was about the years and years of all of this stuff happening to foundational Black Americans, specifically Black
just
people
like
in
Rodney
general.
King.
Right. It was
OJ.
just the straw that broke the camel's back. It wasn't about George Floyd being some type of icon.
Right. And
you know what I'm
that.
saying? We don't know him. We didn't know him. You know what I'm saying? And so that argument right there, that they really use that argument against the liberals, but we get lumped up in that. They try to lump us in. I'll be seeing that in my comments on Instagram and all of that. Oh, you liberals, you Democrats. I'm like, nigga, you on the wrong page.
Right.
You on the wrong damn page, nigga.
You better go around the corner.
You know what I'm saying? But they try to. It's funny because the white supremacists on the right, they try to lump us in with liberals and being woke and all of that, the way that they use woke as a pejorative.
Right.
And the white supremacist liberals, they try to lump us in with the Trumpers. They call us Trumpers.
Right.
We Trump supporters because we talking about justice and reparations. They somehow try to equate that with us being pro-Trump. You know what I'm saying?
And when we should just be pro-policy. That's it.
Exactly.
That's it. whoever given policy, and honestly, neither one really is given doing anything specifically for us. Hence, why we were never pushing for anyone to vote for Trump either. That's why the conversation was about the couch. It was
Right.
never about a party.
Mm-hmm. And so, is this move that the DOJ making some anti-black shit? Yes. But are we jumping up and down, kicking and screaming about it? No.
No.
Because the problem ain't training, because that's all that these measures did
Right.
was put training in place. They give more money to the police to do training.
And the training is just to teach them how to get away with it. Because that whole stop resisting, that was training.
Right.
To get away with certain things. That's all that was.
Right. But the problem was never training. It was never bad
No.
training. It's infiltration. The mainstream narrative is that the cops just need better training, but that's false. The real issue,
is white supremacy.
right? The real issue is that law enforcement has been infiltrated by white supremacists.
Law enforcement, the military, they're your judges. These are lawmakers and things like that. Like, it's been heavily infiltrated.
Right. And this is not no conspiracy theory. You know what I'm saying? This is something that has been proven. This is something that the FBI came out and
I was
said.
gonna say, this is what they said. This is the same people that try to protect the white supremacists are also the same people that's telling the truth about the white supremacists.
So on The Intercept, and I think you got to be a subscriber to read the whole thing, but there's an article on The Intercept, if y'all go on the internet, from 2006. Unprecedented FBI document sheds new light on white supremacist infiltration of law enforcement. This was in 2006, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
A 2006 intelligence assessment reveals that officials had concerns about the infiltration of police departments for years, but failed to warn the public. So they came out with this in 2006, but they've been knowing about it for years.
For years.
Right? The FBI has long been concerned about the infiltration of law enforcement by white supremacist groups and its impact on police abuse and tolerance of racism. The unredacted version of a previously circulated document reveals the FBI threat assessment report was released by Rep. Jamie Raskin, chair of the House Committee on Oversight and Reform Civil Rights Bill, Civil Liberties Subcommittee, ahead of a hearing about the white supremacist infiltration of local police departments scheduled for Tuesday. A heavily redacted version of the 2006 document had previously been published, one of a handful of documents revealing federal officials' growing concern with white supremacist historical interest in infiltrating law enforcement communities or recruiting law enforcement personnel. That's a quote, by the way, from from federal officials. It just says, quote, historical interest in infiltrating law enforcement communities or recruiting law enforcement personnel, end quote. A different internal document obtained by The Intercept in 2017 also noted that domestic terrorism investigations focused on militia extremists, white supremacist extremists, and sovereign citizen extremists often identified active links to law enforcement officers. And so that's as far as it will let me read. But there was more going into the 2020 and 2021. All these reports have been coming out for decades now, confirming that law enforcement up and down has been infiltrated by white supremacist extremist groups.
Right.
And so when we see these incidents taking place, whether it be George Floyd, Mike Brown, Breonna Taylor, or whoever, Eric Garner, Tamir Rice, the list goes on and on and on. When we see these incidents, the problem is not bad training. and police just need better training and they need to learn tolerance and all of that. No, these people are operating in ghost skin. Google that
Exactly.
term. Google the term ghost skin. Ghost
And
skin.
And we also know that they're not operating, properly when it comes to our communities because they don't do the same thing to white people that commit crimes. There was 2 children that was shooting back or shooting at police officers, and they figured out a way to disarm them. But Tamir Rice died within 6 seconds. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like we're not gonna act like it was a man here in California. I want to say in Modesto, California, a few weeks ago, who was pointing an AR-15 at a highway patrolman, and he never got shot. He never got. I don't even think they tased the dude. They didn't even tase him. He walked away unscathed. They weren't so scared for their life that they took him down, who was obviously armed and dangerous at that point because he was pointing it at the officer, but he lived through it.
Right.
Too many of unarmed Black people have died for you to say it's a training issue.
Right.
Because they're not trained clearly to kill white people.
Right. They know how to de-escalate. They know how to subdue people without harming them and all of that. You know what I'm saying? They're very good at that. You know what I'm saying? It's just you got to have the right complexion. You got to have the right complexion. And Be Active in the chat says FBA fatigue is real. That is why there will never be no representation for any of you FBA. FBA are becoming the laughing stock of the U.S. and entered world and the clowns of social media. The funny thing though is the reason why all of these task forces are being formed, the reason why reparations is in the national lexicon is because of foundational Black Americans and the grassroots.
Right.
Everything that we've been doing on social media has entered the mainstream. It can't be ignored. That we're a force to be reckoned with out here. So if you call that a laughing stock, well, keep on laughing.
Right. Because obviously we making some motion, definitely making headlines, and you're here.
Yeah, we got motion. We got motion, fam. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is.
What did you think about reparations going to Ashley Babbitt's family?
I did see something about that. What the hell? How much they giving them?
$5 million. So
that's coming from Trump?
Let me see. It's U.S. to pay $5 million settlement to Ashley Babbitt's family in wrongful death case. Agreement reached under Trump administration marks major shift in government's response to the January 6th shooting.
Well, again, Ashley Babbitt is a modern symbol of white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? The white supremacists, hail her. You know what I'm saying? So that's again, they doing things to appease and satisfy their base.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's what I tell people that complain all the time about Trump. I always tell people my rebuttal to that is this is the exact thing that Obama should have been doing for his base, as well as Biden. Do I like it? No. But am I mad at it in the same sense? No, because this is exactly what he's supposed to do.
Right. You know what I mean? These are the people that got him where he's at.
Exactly.
And he making sure that they get what they need, whether it's symbolic or whether it's tangible.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so Democrats can learn a thing or two from that.
And by the way, her family initially sought $30 million. They settled for $5 million.
Yep. Yes, indeed. And so, yeah, man, when it comes to this shit, both parties are complicit. You know what I mean? We don't big up one and downplay another one. Both parties are complicit. Trump over here ending the so-called oversight. Biden did nothing meaningful during his term. Both things are true.
And neither, because everybody keeps talking about George Floyd. We've reached the 5-year anniversary. The whole Biden administration, they've been talking about the George Floyd Policing Act. Never got signed.
Right.
It's just been talked for 4 years. Right. Longer than 4 years. Nothing got done.
It's not about Democrats. It's not about Republicans. It's about a system that is designed to protect the agents of state violence against black people, and it's working.
Yep.
No matter who's in power, it's working. Nobody's being punished.
And we also have the black puppet class that help do nothing as well.
Facts. So this is why FBA, we got to stay focused, and we got to focus on self-determination. Okay, ain't nobody coming to save us. You know what I'm saying? We got to figure out what we need to be doing for ourselves to make sure that we're protected and to make sure that we're good. You know, real safety comes from community control and removing protections from race soldiers by force.
Right.
Not diversity hires and reform slogans and all of that. No, that's not what it is.
And also the community part, you know, unifying, you know, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan always said a lot of our problems, you know, would end too if we just unified the right way with the collective. Now, obviously not with everybody, you know what I'm saying, but with the on code. You know what I'm saying? Niggas act like they scared, you know,
Right.
to put their resources together and build something. So you rather get mad, you know, at a Trump administration or any other administration for, in your opinion, for saying cutting food stamps or and stuff like that. Well, you know, I'm not to say people don't need it, but what, instead of whining about it, what we gonna do? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because if we pooled our resources, you got a backyard, let's get back here and plant something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's things that we can do as a community to make sure that our community is sufficient when it comes to, you know, feed each other. Something that we can do, you know, in the meantime. But you would rather cry about that versus unifying with your brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Saying.
Well, it is, man. You know, so again, man, the DOJ dropping police oversight, it isn't a reversal, it's just a reveal.
That's it.
It's a reveal. We see what it really is.
Now you see their same Department of Justice is opening an investigation into Andrew Cuomo.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
They said petty. These motherfuckers is petty because they dropped it. They dropped the charges against Eric Adams that was put in place before Trump got in there.
Mm-hmm.
They dropped them charges, and the person that they're trying to run against Eric Adams, because Eric Adams is going for re-election,
right?
And Cuomo they done cleaned his image, tried to clean his image up, because you remember his image was in the gutter for some
SA stuff. SA, right? Mm-hmm.
SA stuff and all that. So they done dusted him off and said, we don't care about none of that. We need you to get this nigga up out of here.
Right.
And so they're going to use him to run against Eric Adams, and now the DOJ put an investigation on him.
Yeah, for over the New York City nursing home deaths, and I'm assuming that's in reference to the jabs and stuff like that.
I'm not sure.
It just says the Justice Department has reportedly opened a criminal investigation into former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo for allegedly lying to Congress about the nursing home death in the Empire State during the COVID-19 pandemic. So yeah, that's what it's in reference to.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Hey, man. Shout out to Maxwell Jenkins in the building, man. Good to see you, brother. This is why they're trying to dishearten our fight. All ass, no brakes. All gas, no brakes. Got you.
All ass, gas, same thing. Both of them.
Got you. But yo, real quick, for those of y'all that wasn't here at the top of the show, I did announce my new book is available on what the hell is it called? On Amazon. From the Womb to Illmatic, a hip-hop inspired blueprint for unlocking your child's inner genius. The book is available on Amazon now. The link is in the chat. It's pinned to the top of the chat. It's also in the description for those who are watching this on the replay, or you can just go to Amazon and type in From the Womb to Illmatic and go ahead and get the new book. And so I'm gonna go ahead and play the ad one more time real quick for those that didn't get a chance to see it at the top of the show. Here we go.
Yo, family, real quick. I'm proud to announce the soft launch of Sincereluvdagod's new book, From the Womb to Illmatic, a hip-hop inspired blueprint for unlocking your child's inner genius. This ain't your average parenting book. This is for the culture, inspired by Illmatic. built around his own son Seven's early development, and packed with real tools to help parents turn everyday moments into genius-level learning. If you've ever wanted to give your child a head start without losing your roots, this book is for you. Available now on Amazon. Order now and leave a 5-star review. You already know, we raising brilliance around here.
Yes, indeed. That's what it is. So that's available right now on Instagram. Y'all go ahead and get that and leave us a review. Give us 5 stars, all of that. The Kindle version will be available, I guess, in the next couple of days. It's under review right now. The Kindle version will be available as well, but you can go ahead and order the paperback off of Amazon right now. All right. And so, what else is going on out here, Nicey?
Hold on. I just ordered my book.
Oh, you ordering it?
I just did.
That's what I'm talking about.
I just had to do that. So, this is some a positive thing. Why isn't my thing doing this? The Senate has unanimously passed a No Tax on Tips Act. The campaign promise made by President Donald Trump, Democrats and Republicans voted in favor of it. So there will be no taxes taken from people who get tips. So I guess food service and stuff like that, ride sharing services and stuff like that, Uber
Barbers,
Eats, all that stuff. Yeah.
barbers, stylists,
Barbers,
yeah.
all that. No taxing
Yeah.
on the tips. I like that. I don't feel like it should have been in the first place.
Where waiters, waitresses, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I ain't
think
mad at
was
that
a
at
good
all.
thing. That was a good thing. Something they can agree on. So, what did you think about Trump's meeting with President Cyril Ramaphosa? I don't
The
know how to say his
African,
name. The
South
African
African
dude.
president.
Yeah, the South African guy.
Yeah, that was funny. That was funny. It's funny, but not funny.
Right.
Funny,
Talking about
but
some
not
white
funny.
genocide that doesn't exist.
Exactly. You got Trump in here pushing this lie about white genocide taking place in South Africa. Now they done let over like 50 families from South Africa come over here as refugees under the guise that there's some white genocide happening in South Africa. That's been debunked many times. Even mainstream outlets are debunking that lie. You know what I'm saying? I even seen on CNN they had I forgot who that white dude is. Some Republican was over there pushing that, and I don't know the girl's name. I only remember her from when Cameron was on there with her, when her and Cameron kind of got into it. The black girl from CNN. I don't know her name.
One of them mammies.
But even she shut that shit down with facts.
Right.
With facts. Over there in South Africa, there's a lot of crime that takes place, like in a lot of countries.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not the most stabilized country in the world. It's not the most stable and secure government and all of that. They're still really technically an apartheid system over there. Not on paper, but in practice, it's still apartheid over there. And so there's still a lot of corruption and people doing all types of immigration fraud and all of that. They got tether problems over there, all type of stuff going on in South Africa. So people get killed and people get harmed. And so a lot of farmers have been killed over the years, but the majority of them have been black. People working the farms. You know what I'm saying? The majority of them have been black.
There? Why are these people there? Why are y'all there?
Right.
And claiming stuff. That's the thing. Everywhere they go, they want to start, putting their name and claim to some shit that they, I'm just gonna gangster you. It's mine now. And if you take it back from me, it's genocide.
There's a whole community in South Africa that black people are not allowed to live in.
Right. Ain't that crazy? The fact that that's allowed there, where you guys are the majority is
by law.
To me. That's insane.
They have an all-white community in South Africa. Black people are not allowed to buy property, rent, nothing. They're not allowed to live there.
That is insane.
It's insane.
And
It's insane.
the only thing that I can say, and I've seen a lot of other people say it as well, is the only problem that I had with this South African, president is he didn't give enough pushback. He should have immediately said, "Well, what about the genocide against your black people here in
Right,
America?" China
right.
did. China did. As soon as they started, America started talking shit to China. China was like, "Well, look how you guys are treating the black people over there in your homeland. How dare you say anything about us?" You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? You have to, throw it back in their face, like just sitting there like a chump when working. That's why they do what they do, because
Yeah,
they
he
know
looked
you're
weak.
not gonna buck back.
He looked mad weak. And Trump playing all of these videos from I'm about to say Patrice Lamont, but what's his name? Julius Malema.
Malima, our guy.
And shout out to Julius Malema, but he's not like an elected official over there,
No,
right? He's just a grassroots,
he's an
you know,
activist.
activist leader over
Yeah,
there. You know what I'm saying? And you playing all of these videos from him as if that's government policy. You know what I'm saying? And really, you're misconstruing even what he's saying, because he
right,
said many a times that it's not about just going out and killing white folks and all that. But he's saying, but if it's necessary,
right.
we gonna do what we got to do. But we're not just saying people need to die and that's it. We just
Just
saying, we
leave.
we have a right to self-determination. This is our land. This is our country. And if you're going to be here as a guest, then you need to act accordingly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And
And
I
if not,
think that those
then
narratives,
we can
though,
get it
like that,
popping.
he has to be careful. He has to amp up his security, because that could be, a dog whistle,
Exactly.
to go after him.
Exactly. And that's how they do it. They have to
Hmm.
corrupt you in the
Right.
media. They have to damage your image and your reputation and make you a villain in the media. Make a person killable before they can be killed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just like they did with Diddy. They put out that
Yeah.
video. They put out that video with him whooping on Cassie right before they brought out all these charges and all of that.
Hmm.
They made sure they put out that video first. You know what I'm saying? So nobody wouldn't want to stand next to him. Nobody wouldn't want to protect him and speak up for him. You know what I
And
mean?
honestly, who has?
Nobody.
And I'm talking about in the hip hop community outside of Ye, kinda,
And and
you
and
know,
and and kind
Boosie
of
maybe.
DJ Vlad. Kind of.
Right. Right.
I seen Vlad kind of speak, concerning what's going on in the trial. Not necessarily
Right.
speaking up for Diddy, but he said what was correct about what's going on in the
It being
trial.
DV. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've been listening. When I'm sitting here at work, I'll just have, my phone on, kind of listening to the live. Um,
oh, I didn't know they had a
uh,
live.
yeah, well, like they'll have people in there reporting, you know what I'm saying? So I'll listen to the coverage and stuff like that. And to me, even, and again, I know it's early. They're saying that this trial is going to go on for a few months, perhaps. It's not going to be a speedy trial where, you know what I'm saying, you have the trial for a week or two and then it's deliberation. This is
Yeah.
expected to go on for months. So just depending on who else they bring out. But it does seem more and more to me as a DV situation versus a RICO trafficking type of deal.
But
A
even
lot of
even
Go ahead.
DV, yeah, but isn't it just like a toxic relationship? Like
That's
both
what
of
I'm
them?
saying. Um, for him especially, I'll say, because there's text messages between them and stuff, and I'm talking about even during the DV situations and stuff like that. As far as the trafficking, she must have got some kind of immunity, because baby, you was setting it up too.
She got immunity. Yeah, she did.
Yeah. So it's like that part. mm,
And this is what I'm
like,
saying. Like all of the people that the prosecution is calling to the stand, the testimony that they're giving to me seems to favor the defense.
in my opinion,
Because you got all these sex workers going up there saying they weren't forced. You know
no.
what I'm saying? They're they got paid for the whatever, but what's that? That's prostitution. That's not sex
Right.
trafficking. And then it's
And
trying to make it seem like if you came from another state, then that's trafficking. That's
well, that's how they got R. Kelly. Remember, Chopper from Making the Band, he was arrested for the same thing in Las Vegas. He ended up doing about 2-3 months. He was able to get the charges dropped, but because he and this girl was DMing each other, she's a grown woman, you know what I'm saying, and they start communicating through DM, then text and stuff like that. Okay, well, I'm gonna fly you out. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm gonna bring my homegirl. We gonna do whatever we gonna do. He flies them both out. One of them get mad at him being with one of the other girls and threw these charges on him, and he was arrested specifically for trafficking. So
Right.
where there now, he said what he's learning, because he's been talking on it, is a man flying a woman out is considered trafficking. So it's like, dude, you better go see her.
And I see
The-
people going along with that. I see people going along with that because when I
It's
seen
not
that
okay.
when I seen that statement from Vlad, I
Right,
don't really follow Vlad, but somebody else posted it. I think it
right.
was according to hip hop. And so in the comment section, I seen a lot, especially women, especially black women, talking about oh, he don't even know what trafficking is. He needs to shut his mouth because he don't even know what trafficking is. And they're going by this arbitrary definition that you just
Exactly.
described.
They don't even know. That's not it. Because remember, first of all, it was cute to get flued out, right?
Right.
So as soon as you get mad at the dude, now it's no longer getting flued out. It's now you traffic me because I'm dissatisfied with you because you made me upset.
So all of these people over there in Dubai that's flying out these Instagram models and all that, those are
Hmm,
sex traffickers.
hmm, hmm, hmm.
How many people was Hugh Hefner flying out?
Right.
You
Which
know what I'm
and
saying?
and only some of the bunnies, have come out to talk negatively about him, but y'all waited till he died.
I didn't even see that.
Oh, they have been. There was a documentary on Netflix about it and stuff like that, but y'all waited till he died. None of this happened when he was alive. You guys were okay with it when he was alive.
Anybody get paid?
No, they're not even suing. They're just telling their story. They're
Okay,
not even suing.
so it's just entertainment. Maybe they're trying to get a book deal or something.
Exactly. I'm sure they're getting paid to do these podcasts and, write their stories. I'm sure Netflix cut them a big check, to tell the story as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
That's
this is
madness,
just
though.
seeming more and more like DV to me. They both were heavily using, drugs. I've never done drugs, so I don't know what that does to you mentally and stuff that make a person act out
I ain't never
and
been that
things
damn
like
high.
that. Right. And I will say she was not forced to do it. I don't feel like she was forced to do it. I do feel like she felt like she had to do it to please him in order to be with him. In a way, she thought that that's what he wanted.
But that's still a choice, though, that you're
That's it.
making.
I agree. That's why I said she was never forced to do it. A lot of the meetups with these people, she was initiating based
Right.
off of the stuff that has come forward. She initiated the what do they call them, FOs? I don't want to say it here.
Yeah.
The
And
FOs. She was initiating it
and making the payments, right? I know the
and
one
making
guy
the
that
payments.
one of the guys that took the stand said he got paid from her every time.
Yeah. And sometimes from security. And what's funny is that Roger Bonds dude that kind of went on his Diddy, tour, when he first got arrested, he was one of the head securities. His name has come up so much in the testimonies.
I don't know who that is.
I'll send you a thing. And he was on Vlad, he was on a bunch of the Art of Dialogue. He did a whole tour for a minute
Are you
about
talking? Wait, are you talking about? Damn, what's that dude's
not
name?
the main, not the, what's his name? He always on something.
Okay, yeah. You're not talking about him.
Not the same
I,
one.
I can't even think of his name right now either. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm about to say not him.
No,
He's
Roger
been
Bonds is a different one.
okay.
But
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't
he
know
was
who
one
he
of his
is.
heads of security. Some people said that initially they were offering him like 5 years on a deal, and he declined the deal. He
Did
wanted to
he?
take it. Yeah, did he decline the deal and decided to take it to trial? So,
I
yeah,
didn't hear about no 5-year
I,
offer.
that's what I heard. That's what they've been saying in some of these podcasts. They
But
offer him like
the thing about it is, and I don't like this at all, is they're saying if he's convicted, um, everything that he owns is on the table. His
everything.
$400 million wealth. They're saying nothing is off the table that
Limits.
they can't seize. You know what I'm
Hence,
saying?
that's what they wanted.
That's what all this is about. That's what all this is about. They're saying down to a watch, a car, anything, a painting, anything that this man owns is fair game for them to take if he gets convicted. we know damn well Diddy got his money legitimate from Bad Boy, from Sean John, all of these legitimate business endeavors. All this money ain't come from no damn sex trafficking.
Absolutely not. And then also for the people that have complained about their masters and not getting them and stuff like that, that was also business. That
Yeah,
was
that's another.
also business. You would like it or love it,
That's not
like
a
it or not,
crime.
it was business.
Yeah, that's not a crime. That might be
No.
foul,
Yeah.
but that's not a crime.
It's not a
You know what I'm
crime.
saying? And at the end of the day, you signed the contract.
You signed it. You wanted the deal.
You signed the contract. You know what I'm saying? You didn't get a lawyer. You didn't do your due diligence. You know
And
what I'm
if you
saying?
did get a lawyer, you didn't get a good one.
Yeah. It's just like with the locks. The locks had their issues with Diddy and all that back in the days about their contracts and all that. But years later, even they came out like, yo, we was young. We signed them bogus ass contracts. You know what I'm saying? Like, we should have never signed that shit. You know what I mean? So they took responsibility.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Once they got themselves together and they matured and they understood the business more, they're like, yeah, once you put your name on that dotted line, you agree to these terms.
Right. It sounded good at the time. So, either you renegotiate and it's up to the person that you originally signed with to renegotiate or not. They don't have to.
All right.
They don't have to. So,
What you think about Tory Lanez, Meg Thee Stallion situation?
I'm gonna say this: Meg and her friend need to be arrested, and they need to free that man. That's where I'm at with it.
I'm confused. I ain't gonna lie. I'm confused about it because I've been leaning that way most of the time, but until recently, I didn't know that there was a video or this audio of Tory, and I only recently heard this, like the night after or the morning after everything went down. He's on the phone with the girl. What's her name? Kelly?
Yeah, something like that.
She's outside the hospital. Meg is in the hospital. She's outside the hospital on the phone with Tory. And he's very apologetic on this phone call. He's like, yo, I know she mad. I know she probably never going to forgive me, but, I was mad drunk and I would never do nothing like that. And
but he didn't say
he didn't. Nah, that's what I'm saying. He never admitted to anything specific, but he was very apologetic about something.
But I think maybe because he was the cause of it all, meaning they were arguing over him. He was smashing both friends. Were besties. That's how I gathered it. I heard about that. I think that he was apologetic about the fact that they found out the way that they found out, and then this situation ensued. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, if I would have been honest with both of y'all, maybe this wouldn't have happened. Also,
but she's the one at the hospital with Meg, and he's apologizing. It sounds funny style. I ain't gonna lie.
It does sound funny style, but then when he's talking about the gun, the firearm that was used, his fingerprints, it's a female, all this stuff, and then they wouldn't admit that into evidence and refuse to allow his attorneys to, pull that into evidence even to this day. So why is that? If he did it, he would have had gunpowder residue on his hands or clothes or something. And why isn't his fingerprints on there?
Right.
And why is there a female on there?
And the driver was never brought to the stand, who's now saying that it wasn't Tory, it was Kelly, who was actually the trigger person, and Tory was actually trying to break it up, and there's some state representative in Florida, which I don't know what she got to do with anything, because this happened in California,
right? But
there's a state representative in Florida who was tweeting like last week or whatever, that there was some new video evidence of never before seen Ring app video of the incident, and it's going to be released and it's going to exonerate Tory and all of that. And so I'm like, all right, well, release the shit then. What y'all waiting on? Then? If that's the case, if you got video, so I'm confused. I don't know. I can't say free Tory yet. I can't say lock Meg up. Yeah, I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel. I don't know what's going on.
We know that she lied. She lied about even sleeping with him to begin with.
She lied about that for sure.
For the long time. So, you lie about anything. You know what I'm saying? Listen, She'll lie about anything. I don't believe her. And this man is, if he's up in there seriously for something that he did not do, he really should not
Damn
be
near
in there.
died. Damn near died. Got stabbed up and all that.
14
Damn near
times.
died. Yeah, like that's crazy. If this man is innocent, that's crazy.
And you know what? I don't always agree with Azalea Banks. You know, this girl be all over the
She be
damn
on
place.
point sometimes though.
When she right,
she's
she
like
right.
yay. She's like yay.
She's like, yeah, that's, oh my God, she is the female version of Yay. You're
She's
right.
like yay.
But you know, Meg the Stallion, you know, ends up, you know, putting out this statement, you know what I'm saying, after Tori was stabbed or whatever. So this is her response. And I had to agree again. She says, sis, Tori is in jail, in a jail hospital, probably knocked out on a sedative and on pain medication, trying to heal. When did he, and she put that in all caps, say anything? He hasn't even told his fans he's okay. The public doesn't have proof the man is still alive. No photos, no words from the family. Girl, is that devil in your head making you spaz like this? If
Mm,
I were you, I would calm down. You're making the block hot.
mm, mm.
Cause shut up. Cause
Yeah.
the thing is, he has no, at that point, we only got the word or the news that he was stabbed multiple times. We didn't even know how many times, his condition, nothing. Right?
Yeah.
And she's over here putting out statements. Shut your ass up.
Right. And it's the public, it's fans that's in the
Right.
comments saying what they saying. So you mad at people's perception of the situation and you making it seem like Tori is doing something to you. She's
That he
like
didn't
you
do.
could like you're further being victimized by Tori, and this man
Right.
is laid up in a hospital bed.
And my thing is, are you really that mad at him just because he smashed you and your homegirl? Because first of all, y'all best friends. Let's be clear about this. Y'all are besties. Besties is telling everything, girl.
Yeah, yeah.
Guess what? So your anger really shouldn't have been with him. One of y'all, whoever was first, should have been mad at the one that went after her because you knew I did it or something. I don't know. Why we mad
Yeah.
at each other? Why we mad at him though? He being a dude. He a dude. That's what he gonna do. Y'all giving it up freely, neatly, and let me go on, tap something.
Yeah. All right, so one more thing before we get out of here, because I know you tapped in with this too. Remy Ma, Papoose,
Team
Clarissa
Pap.
Shields.
Team Pap. You know I'm Team Cap. I was saying when the people was talking about it, instantly I said she's been trying to money shame him. She feels like she's the prize. She feels like he's beneath her because I think in her mind she was the talent. Obviously, never forget about the fact that we know he's been right for you. He been holding you down in and out of jail. You know your child that wasn't his own children. You know what I'm saying? Literally holding it down. And this is how you view him. Like he ain't,
Yeah.
like he brought nothing to the table. Like he was basically there with his fork and spoon, you know what I'm saying, and brought nothing. That's
And
how I
then
felt like she was
and,
saying.
and and then the dude that you got now that got knocked out by Papoose, the easy to block dude, his weight ain't up like that.
Right. You know what it
So
is? He's just D'ing her down real good. That's all. You know what I'm saying? She digmatized at this point, and he just using her for a come up. To be real, you trying to say our sister Carissa is to come up? No, you to come up off of old boy for him. Your name, he's trying to tie your name for his come up eventually. At least he's hoping. You know what I'm saying?
and
And then
why are people mad at Clarissa in this situation?
I have no
I
idea.
like the way Clarissa's responded.
I did too. And she was very respectful. She was even on the Breakfast Club because they brought it up. She said, it's really not for me to say. You know what I'm saying? We know the elephant in the room. He has to take care of that. But that's not for me. You know what I'm saying? To say or, talk about. So she was very, and I have no ill will, towards her, whatever. Like, and she took that. I told you every time she mentioned my name, I'm going to drag you. She never mentioned your name. Charlamagne did. Why you triggered?
Yeah, man. I think Remy taking the L in this whole situation, man.
And
It's
she should though. She
not a
should.
good
And the
look.
thing is, he didn't get with no bum like she did. You know what I'm saying? He got a person, a woman that got her weight up, and you can try to, try to get into Clarissa's head. Oh, he's just using you. You know what I'm saying? You his come up, whatever. You can do that by all means. I don't think that she's, bothered by that. I think that he's probably finally in a situation, one with someone younger. She don't have any baggage, none of that shit. Who
I think
actually
she really
loves and
fuck with him.
respects him, and
Yeah,
love and respect that nigga. He ain't
yeah.
never been treated that good.
All right. I think I get the sense that she really fucks with Pap the long
I do
way.
too.
You know what I
I do
mean?
too. And I
Mm,
honestly feel like he does too. I think that he obviously had this situation with someone he rode for and truly loved. Clearly. Truly, truly loved. And like she even said on the Breakfast Club, you have to respect the person that lays everything out to you in the beginning. He left nothing out. He let me know his situation. You know what I'm saying? So she don't feel like he let her on either. And you have to respect that. So if you deal with me, this is what I come with right now until this shit is resolved. You know what I'm saying? So she rocked with him.
yeah,
He was honest from the beginning. He didn't lead her on.
yeah. I just don't like, everything. Y'all got your divorce papers all on the
Right.
internet and all of this
But
shit.
she
Like,
did that.
well, Pap did that. Pap put out the divorce paper. I guess he responded. I don't know all the
He was
play-by-play
responding.
details.
That was her. He was
Yeah,
responding. Everything for him was a response to her. She was putting like pawn shop receipts in there, calling him pawn poos, all kind of stuff. Like you broke, you know what I'm saying? You can no longer eat off me, blah blah blah. What? Y'all married. You are married. What are you talking? I bought this house. This is my house in I think they're in North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. It was like my. Before y'all fell out, y'all purchased that home together, and that was your marital home. What are you talking about? Where does I shit come from?
mm, crazy, man.
It was crazy. I was disappointed, but I think that now that she's done that, she's come out with the disrespect. Now he can really, really just push forward, go ahead and settle the divorce and move on. You know what I'm saying? In your new life, be happy and let that shit go. Be a father.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, man.
I got one more
Hopefully.
article though I want to talk about before we go. One more. It's important.
Okay, go ahead.
So Donald Trump to Cuba, return woman convicted of trooper's murder. Talking about Asada.
What?
You didn't know this?
No.
Yes, this is on AP News. So President Donald Trump on Friday. This article came out on June. Wait a minute, this is an old one. Hold on, let me get the recent one because we was just yeah. Donald Trump is requesting that basically Asada gets drugged back on over here to America.
And you know what? Trump is not the first president to do that.
Right, because Obama
Put that
put
out
the
there.
the biggest bounty on her head under his
Right,
administration.
right. But yeah, they still got to bug up their ass about Asada.
Right.
They still got to bug up their ass about that right there. Mm.
So yeah, why isn't it coming up?
Let me see if I can find what you're talking about real quick. Um,
Okay, here it is, April 24th. No, that's not it.
the one I see here is old from his
Yeah,
last
that's what
administration.
it's a new one though. It is a new one. And they was talking about it on the spaces too. That's why I thought about it.
That's probably what they're talking about. It's probably just recirculating again
Maybe.
because I don't see nothing else in the
Or
news.
hands off Asada and Trump, sit your ass down. You got too many white supremacists that you need to be thinking about and send them people back to where are those people that's those white out South Africans? Where are they originally from?
A lot of them are Dutch.
But send them back there.
Yeah, a lot of them are Dutch.
So is Elon Dutch?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. They call them Afrikaners, but those are Dutch invaders.
Oh, we didn't talk about the DC Jewish museum shooting.
It's time to go.
Okay. Listen, y'all, I was trying to make up for lost time, but I'll be back next Sunday.
Somebody shot up the Jewish museum down there in DC. Y'all go look
Right.
that up. Somebody
Period.
they did it for Palestine. It ain't had nothing to do with us.
And it was a white Hispanic, by the way.
Yeah, it was a white Hispanic. Yeah, it ain't had nothing to do with us.
Oh, and my son is sending me and Professor Zahelia to the Roots concert for our birthdays. He bought us tickets today.
Okay, that's dope. That's dope.
Her birthday is after mine, where we're both in the same month. We're both Geminis. So we're going on my birthday. It's actually a Sunday. June 8th. Dope. Yeah, but Ty bought us tickets to see the Roots.
It's in LA?
Yeah, at the Hollywood Bowl.
Okay.
It's actually a big one. I think I know it's the Roots, Lil Kim, I think Method Man, Redman.
Yeah, they do the whole picnic. It's a whole festival. It's a whole
picnic, yeah. So he bought us tickets for that.
Yeah, that's gonna be dope.
Yeah, I'm excited.
That's the one B spot. I know Dewan gonna be there.
Yes, I know he's gonna be there. Yeah, so Ty is sending her and I to that concert for our birthdays.
I'm going to see Nas in July. He's performing with he's performing with the orchestra here in Atlanta.
Okay.
Doing the orchestra performance at one of the amphitheaters down here in Atlanta. I'm going to check that out.
I know you is.
Yes, indeed. And y'all go get my book, goddammit.
I got mine.
From the Womb to Illmatic, available now on Amazon. Y'all go ahead and get that. And we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. That does it for today's episode of Sincere Love the Godcast. Y'all always remember, family, we are not the master teachers, but we are the master students and signal boosters for the voices of the new Black media. Peace and Black love.
And those Africans have to be organized to fight for their liberation. And those Africans have to be organized to fight for their liberation.
All right, family, that's gonna wrap it up for today's episode of Sincere Love the Godcast. Big salute to everybody who tuned in, shared the stream, and hit the super chat. We appreciate the real ones. Remember, this system don't fix itself. Whether it's weak reparations bills or fake police reform, we gotta stay sharp, stay grounded, and keep calling it for what it is. Make sure you're subscribed, follow us on all platforms, and tap in for the next one. Same truth, same energy, same mission. Peace and Black love. Sincere Love the Godcast signing out.